Greetings, shiners and glowers. It is day 15 of 21 days on this extravagant, beautiful journey of self-love together. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I trust that my message will serve you all well. Thank you once again. Can't say that enough. So my message for day 15 of 21 days on this beautiful journey of self-love together is one that will allow you to make more room for things that serve your greater good. And again, this in turn will help you and promote and excel you to live a life that's more aligned, more purposeful, more clear, more joyful, and healthier. And that's a beautiful thing. And that is accomplished by using the word no. That word no, just like the word forgiveness, evokes a lot of uncomfortable feelings, to say the very least. We always associate when we say no to other people that we feel like we are bad people, we're not a good friend, or maybe a good spouse, or a good sister or mother, etc., etc., etc. We feel that we are doing something wrong when we say no. And too often what ends up happening is we say yes, 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 and we become this invisible doormat for so many people to take advantage of us, unknowingly or knowingly. And also we end up creating blocks ultimately in our body energetically, because everything again is energy, because we're going against our true self, even though we know that we could say no and we would feel better if we ultimately said no in circumstances, but we just went along saying yes because we didn't want to disappoint. But again, this will lead to energetic blocks. It will make your throat chakra underactive, and this can create other diseases in your life. And that's not what you want in this journey. You want to live the healthiest and most happiest and balanced as you can. So this word no has been very, very powerful for me in my journey. It's been something that I've become accustomed to using more, guilt-free. And remember that how you feel or react to a situation is how you've been conditioned to think about it. So recondition yourself by having a transformational thought on this word no, and see this word as self-serving for your greater good. Because ultimately what you're doing when you say no to people or events or things that you know you shouldn't do or don't want to do because they just don't feel right, you're saying to the universe and yourself, I respect myself enough to know and understand, and trust myself enough to know and understand that this is not going to make me feel good, and it doesn't feel like something that resonates with me. And if I partake in it, I just know that I won't be happy. So don't welcome that into your life of not feeling happy. Try to keep yourself on this high vibrational plane by saying no. It's okay if you say no to people. It's okay if you say no to yourself sometimes. You're allowed to do that guilt-free. Just don't associate that word no with guilt. Shift the words that you use to associate it with, bottom line, and you'll feel so much better in doing so. I know we're busy throughout our day. We're inundated with so many responsibilities, so many tasks. When we come home, we're beaten, tired. And a lot of times we just want to rest and sit, but then we feel guilty because we say, okay, if we don't do this and for our kids, then, you know, I'm not a good mom or I'm not a good dad, et cetera, et cetera. These are just some basic, common, shareable and relatable examples. But there are allowed to be some days during the week where you can say, okay, you know, again, basic example, I don't feel like reading tonight because I feel like I need to sleep. Or, you know, I don't want to eat this because it's not good for me, et cetera, et cetera. Being proactive and knowing intentionally that, you know, this doesn't serve my greater good will ultimately invite and make room for things spiritually, emotionally, and physically that do serve your greater good. And you deserve to feel amazing. I can't say this enough. And the only person that's going to be able to help achieve that for you is yourself, by being self-directed, as I always say in my messages, and being more proactive. And this word no is very, very transforming. Don't try to feel guilty if you can help it. And this will take time because it's something you have to learn and teach yourself mentally, is don't feel bad by saying no to people. Maybe you can create like a ratio of, okay, out of 10 times, if my friend asks me to do this, maybe 5 times I can say yes, and maybe 5 times I won't. Create a nice balance in that area of your life so that you do have time for yourself. You do have time to take care of your needs too. You don't want to live a life where you're constantly saying yes, 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 yes to everybody. And I know this because I felt at one point in my life this is all I was doing. Because what this is going to do is this is going to continue to separate yourself from your true self. And then you will live a life full of anxiety. You will feel down and depressed. You won't feel happy. And it's going to spiral down unknowingly to more negative experiences in your life. And your health eventually deteriorates mentally, spiritually, and physically. So this word no is quite powerful. And going back to using it on other people, you might be surprised that other people will respect you more if you say no, and be more understanding. Too often we assume in our head, because we are creatures who like to make assumptions, that if we say no, people are going to assume this because this is what we assume about that word or scenarios. But people are more understanding than you think. Take time today, even when you get home after work, and ask yourself, am I saying yes to so many things that I don't need to? Relax a little bit, chill out a little bit, and make time to take care of yourself spiritually, emotionally, and physically. And by, again, doing this is letting mundane tasks go that you know they don't have to be done right away, but you've created this habit in your subconscious mind that, oh, it has to be done because if it doesn't get done, then I'm not a good wife, or I'm not a good mother, I'm not a good daughter. No, you're allowed to have some days where you feel away, you want to be away from everybody, and you're allowed to say no. No is so powerful. No is going to make you stronger. No is going to make you connect to your higher self. No is going to make more room for things that matter. It's going to continue to boost your journey to a pace where you're vibrating really high. And again, you've heard my messages. When you vibrate high, you attract better and you live better, happier, and healthier and more harmonious. A lot of times people are just living in their journey and they're thinking that they're living very harmonious, but they're really not, because they've just made this habit. But if you're feeling anxiety, if you're feeling down, you're feeling lost and off, you're off track, you need to go right back on track. A good place to start is to meditate and to let go and say no to things that don't matter, and even to people who don't treat you perhaps the greatest, and you find they only talk to you when they need something. Again, these are just some basic examples, but you know what I'm talking about because your being's full of wisdom. Don't be afraid to trust yourself, and don't be afraid to say no. I can't say it enough. So your mission for day 15 of 21 days on this extravagant journey of self-love together is to take a look around in your day and ask yourself, whatever I'm doing, is it necessary, or are there some things I can cut out so I can actually make room for things that I can say yes to that serve my greater good? And change the way you look at the word no. Don't associate it with being a bad person or not living up to somebody's expectations or feel guilty. Use no as your friend, that I respect myself to know that this is not going to serve me, or I don't want to do this because it goes against my feelings and opinions and thoughts. So I want to make room for things that do. So I live happier and healthier. Remember again, your healthy lifestyle is in your hands. I hope my message has served you well. This is a very small, basic step that you can start to take to move on to your journey of self-actualization. Take good care of yourself. Be extraordinary. Much love and peace to you always. Stay tuned for day 16 of 21 days on this beautiful journey of self-love together. Namaste.